Today I'm reacting to your Monday Night Raw after SummerSlam Hot Takes. Hot Takes is a weekly video series where I give you all a platform to be able to voice your thoughts, whether those are good thoughts, bad thoughts, or everything in between about the world of professional wrestling. So if you'd like to be featured in the next episode of Hot Takes, make sure that you're following me on X because I ask for your hot takes there after every episode of Raw, SmackDown, and every single WWE Premium Live event. And if you are looking for my review of this particular episode of Monday Night Raw, it's already up and available over on patreon.com/SantiZap with footage so that you can see exactly what it is that we're talking about. Over there, we're able to do more things that we can't do here, like match reviews with footage and match watch-alongs that would just get blocked due to copyright here. So go check it out. Link in the description, link in the pinned comment. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications. If you're a wrestling fan, I know that you're going to fall in love with this YouTube channel because we always upload daily wrestling content. All right, let's see what you guys sent in. Has anyone else grown tired of this Roman Reigns formula? Disappears for months, returns for a month for a match, disappears again to repeat the process. Hasn't it already happened like 3 times this year alone? Yeah, it happened for the match at the Royal Rumble, then it happened for the match at WrestleMania, and then it happened for this match at SummerSlam. It is becoming a habit with Roman Reigns, but at this point, we're like 2 years into it being his schedule, and I'm just used to it at this point. I made a point about like a year and a bit ago calling Roman Reigns the next Undertaker, and a lot of people mistook that as I think he is as good as the Undertaker or anything like that, or as iconic as the Undertaker, and people got really up in arms. I really meant that Roman Reigns is now a special attraction like the Undertaker, with the Undertaker only appearing once a year, if we're lucky 2 to 3 times a year. And that's kind of where we're at with Roman Reigns, and that's probably where we're going to be with Roman Reigns for the rest of his wrestling lifetime in the WWE. I don't think that we're ever going to get a full-fledged Roman Reigns run again until maybe he does a retirement tour like John Cena did, and even then it'll probably be semi-full-time like how John Cena did his. Have I grown tired of it? I did, but I'm used to it, so I'm fine with it. It's not ideal, but I'd rather have some Roman Reigns than no Roman Reigns at all. I'm very curious as to what they're planning with this storyline now. Are we getting a 6-man tag match, Roman versus Seth, with Braun and Bronson versus Knight and Punk? Just Punk or Knight versus Rollins, or all 6 in a singles match against each other? Whatever it is, I'm excited for it. Well, it's probably going to be a combination of all of those things. My assumption is that this is the first domino to fall as we build probably to a huge War Games match in late November. This has been a formula for the WWE for the last couple of years. Big scary faction takes over Monday Night Raw, they open Raw, they close Raw, they interfere in matches, they have all of the gold, and then it leads to a big War Games match. They've done this now for like a handful of years at this point. But I do think that we're probably going to get Roman versus Seth, probably at WrestleMania. We might get an offshoot feud of Punk versus LA Knight. I'm sure they'll probably have to run LA Knight versus Seth Rollins because that ended in a no contest. Of course you have to do CM Punk and Seth Rollins. Maybe it's a fatal 4-way, maybe it's a triple threat. Tag team match galore is probably going to be in here. What's cool about this is that we basically have a laid out path for the rest of the year in terms of matches and feuds that you could do and mismatch with for the rest of PLEs of 2025. And I like that. It's a living and breathing ecosystem in the main event scene, something that I don't think we can say about Friday Night SmackDown. I guess we'll have to see how SmackDown shapes up now with Cody Rhodes having the WWE Championship again, if maybe that starts to build up and we get a whole host and cast of characters surrounding Cody Rhodes, much like now we have with Seth Rollins on the Monday Night Raw main event scene, which I think is really refreshing. It's kind of crazy that in one night, the main event scene under Seth Rollins as champion is already way more intriguing than it was under Gunther or Jey Uso. It's just the power of a Seth Rollins, I guess. The main event was a hint for what the men's War Games match is going to be. Once Clash in Paris and Crown Jewel are done with, I think that we will see more of these two teams or faction develop more before the end of November. So I do expect at some point that we're probably going to get a 3-on-3 Seth and the Bronsons, the Vision, which I think is a proper official name now, probably going up against Roman, LA Knight, and CM Punk. And I'm sure in that match, we'll probably have a new member revealed so that we can fully fledge out the Seth Rollins faction. And then now we have enough people to do a War Games match with. I absolutely see that being the case. There's a lot of talk about potentially it being Tony D'Angelo, with Tony D'Angelo losing the Dawn gimmick on the last episode of NXT and a big shadowy figure approaching him. A lot of people assuming that it's likely going to be either a Seth Rollins or a Paul Heyman approaching him, and then things cut to black, which is a play on the ending of The Sopranos, which made you believe that Tony Soprano was killed, the Don was killed, and thus now he's going to appear as a brand new character and gimmick on the main roster. And a lot of people think that it's going to be as a member of Seth Rollins' faction. That could be the case here, and that's how we round out War Games. But this is absolutely the build up to War Games. This is the big show that they are absolutely planning for. The first domino has fallen, and the big blow off to this will be at the end of November, which I'm hoping to be there at, because I really like the city of San Diego, and any excuse that I can go to San Diego for, I will take it. I feel like they protected LA Knight because he really didn't get pinned. I'm glad that he is in the main event now. He is ready. I'm glad that they didn't ignore the fact that he pinned Seth Rollins. He won. Whether Seth Rollins faked the injury or not, it doesn't change the fact that LA Knight won that match. He won it clean, and now the guy that he beat is the World Heavyweight Champion, and thus he should get his first crack at the championship, which is exactly how it played out on Monday Night Raw, which is great. Honestly, I would have preferred for them to not do that match immediately on Monday Night Raw. Instead, use this as a catalyst to build to a big match at Clash in Paris, because with the inclusion of CM Punk and then immediately the inclusion of Roman Reigns, LA Knight in the span of literally 5 minutes went from the top contender, second top contender, to the third fiddle in this main event scene, which, by the way, seems to be the classic formula for LA Knight, where he is right there in the main event scene, and then a bigger name shows up to bump him down the card, which is unfortunately exactly what happened here on Monday Night Raw. But I do foresee that LA Knight is going to be hovering in the picture for a while, but hopefully he isn't just hovering. Hopefully they might actually do something this time. He certainly can't be missing PLEs now, I feel like we got burned at SummerSlam. You have decided to elevate LA Knight to the main event scene. You got to do something with him, and you can't just have him doing Slim Jim commercials during your PLEs. Bronson stealing sneakers might sound dumb, but it actually gives him a vibe in the stable. He used to feel like the guy with no real personality in such a dominant group, but that little move makes him stand out. Smart idea. I completely agree here. I think that Bronson Reed was going down the path of just being sort of there and being a body within the group and delivering some tsunamis, but really just there to take the pin, and didn't really have much of a character development. But this shoe thing, being the tribal thief, really does make him into somebody that stands out. It makes him into the bully of the WWE. I hope he takes everyone's boots, everyone's sneakers if he beats them. I think it's a great idea. It's such a power play too, man. For a man to steal another man's shoes, come on, that's such a slap in the face. And it works in this scenario with Bronson Reed being such a scary monster. But the shoe thing, the tribal thief, really does give him that extra little bit of personality that I do agree was missing there. I can't wait to watch, quote, The Vision open every Raw with a promo and end the show with a beatdown for the foreseeable future. Yeah, I know you're kind of memeing here, but this is entirely true. This is what they've done pretty much for the last couple of years post SummerSlam. They did it with the Judgment Day. They've done it with Damage Control. They're gonna do it again here with Seth Rollins' faction, and I know people are gonna get bored of it. All right, people are gonna get annoyed because it is a blueprint that Triple H seems to rely on. Maybe hopefully this year they try something different, they spice it up, but this is also exactly what I'm expecting up until War Games. Another week, who the fuck is that guy? Look at these casuals, man. They don't even know one of the greatest Mexican lucha libre factions of all time, the Americano Familia. This is just El Pequeño Americano Jr. This is Hijo del Americano. People just don't really decide to do any sort of research for themselves, and then they submit things like these to make themselves look bad. God, what are you gonna say next? That this is Tyler Bate? Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh!
Lil Dwayne went
that's when that happens. That's... Oh,
she is not landing on her feet.
She did not land on her. God damn it. That was a sneak peek of this week's Wrestling is Cool Match Club, available exclusively on patreon.com/Santizad. This week, we're going to be looking at Jon Moxley versus Kenny Omega in an unsanctioned match in AEW back in 2019. The Rock versus Triple H versus Kurt Angle for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam 2000. We're going to be looking at an absolutely insane backyard wrestling match with one of the craziest spots that I've ever seen. A women's wrestling classic between between Maika and Suzu Suzuki, and a banger of a match between Konosuke Takeshita versus Speedball Mike Bailey. You're gonna get all of this, plus all of the other matches that we've already covered, plus the Raw reviews, SmackDown reviews, and all the other series that are exclusive over to Patreon. So go check it out. Again, it's patreon.com/SantiZap. If you're already a supporter over on Patreon, we thank you. Without you, I wouldn't be able to do what I do as often as I do. So go check it out. Link in the description, link in the pinned comment. Let's get you back to the video. Oh, look, another match where Sami is going to be considered the underdog and still, quote, find a way to win. Yeah, listen, man, this Karrion Kross feud for Sami Zayn did absolutely nothing for him. The evolution of Sami Zayn's character basically just went through a freeze over the last couple of months. His character has done absolutely nothing. The Karrion Kross character in feud didn't do anything to impact Sami Zayn, and now we're just sort of in square one with Sami Zayn once again. Now, had he used the steel pipe to beat Karrion Kross, now we'd have a Sami Zayn with a newfound edge. Still babyface, but maybe that was the edge needed for him to finally win the World Heavyweight Championship. But no, like, literally nothing has changed with Sami Zayn. And yeah, they're probably just gonna do the same thing. Sami Zayn being the underdog, he's gonna overcome the odds. Hopefully here he doesn't beat Rusev. Hopefully the whole Peter Griffin and the chicken fighting that seems to be happening with Rusev and Sheamus interrupts this match so that we can at the very least protect Rusev from the Sami Zayn vortex. Julia versus Nikki would have been better than Becky versus Nikki. Nikki is going to lose anyway. Yeah, I mean, I would hope that she's going to lose to Becky Lynch, and I would hope that she would lose to Julia as well. However, I think that they did a really great job at making me care about a feud that I didn't think that I wanted in Becky Lynch versus Nikki Bella. I kind of see where you're coming from, though. I think that Nikki Bella versus Julia could have been interesting, but we wouldn't have gotten that awesome back and forth promo that we got between Nikki and Becky Lynch. I just don't think that Nikki and Julia or her new manager would have been able to pull that off and get us as excited as I'm currently for the Women's Intercontinental Championship picture. But Julia, she needs bodies, man. She needs people to face. She needs maybe legends to beat. I'd take Julia versus Trish Stratus at this point. Just anything for Julia, please. I'm happy to see Maxxine Dupri is getting an opportunity against Becky Lynch, considering it's been over a year since Maxxine Dupri has had a singles match. Hopefully, this is the beginning of her push. I don't think that we're going to be seeing a push, but hey, I like the idea of new people getting an opportunity at a championship in a division that is prototypically designed to give people opportunities, the mid-card, the Intercontinental, the US picture. And I'm glad that somebody like Maxxine Dupri is going to get a chance to be able to showcase what she's learned under Natalya, to showcase that, you know, she isn't just there to be a manager or just there to be a cheerleader. I want to see what she can do in the ring, and somebody like Becky Lynch can probably bring out the best of her, because Becky Lynch has been bringing out the best out of everybody in this awesome renaissance of a heel run that she's been on. I'm down for this. Like, I'm not in love with the idea of Maxxine Dupri getting this push, but like, hey, if they can justify it, sure, I'm here for it. And off the back of Becky Lynch, it's easy to justify a lot of things because she's just been so damn good. I also just like the idea of Becky Lynch with new people. You know, we've been seeing her with Lyra Valkyria and Bayley for so long that now Maxxine Dupri, Natalya, and Nikki Bella are all breaths of fresh air that I want to see. LA Knight versus CM Punk is one of my biggest dream matches in WWE history. I cannot wait for them to go one-on-one on the mic, since both are really good with their pipe bombs. I'm still hoping LA Knight gets a big push and championship opportunity at Clash in Paris. This would be huge for LA Knight and a brand new feud, breath of fresh air for CM Punk, who has been doing a lot of the same thing recently. You know, typically it's Seth Rollins this, Seth Rollins that, but him going up against LA Knight to me is a really, really intriguing feud. However, I do think it's a feud that ultimately CM Punk would win, and we're once again back at ground zero with LA Knight. At least I would assume that's the case. I just don't see Triple H putting LA Knight over CM Punk. I think LA Knight likes CM Punk so much in the main event scene that he probably wants to protect him as much as possible. But this is a feud that I want to see. Hell, I would love the idea of somewhere down the line, maybe LA Knight wins the World Heavyweight Championship from Seth Rollins, or maybe CM Punk does, and then these two have a World Heavyweight Championship program. That'd be great as well. Nikki Bella is so bad on the mic, shooting herself in the foot twice and getting owned both times by Becky was my highlight of today's Raw. The crowd's reaction made this so iconic. Okay, I'm pretty sure that was by design. I think it is funny that Nikki Bella kind of laid the explosive mines around the promo, and she herself triggered them by mocking Becky Lynch's Hollywood career, only for Becky Lynch to literally be like, dude, I was in the biggest movie of the summer, Happy Gilmore 2, and you were there, but your shit got cut out of the movie. And then, of course, the John Cena bit, bringing up Seth Rollins and the husband being a liar, Becky Lynch firing back with one of the greatest clapbacks that I've heard in recent memory Dupri on Monday Night Raw, saying that, hey, me and my hot husband, we are the greatest WWE superstar duo of all time. Oh, wait, you would have been if it was you and your... Oh, wait, you can't see him. The crowd going bananas was such a nice touch. The crowd absolutely helped make that moment because you could literally see everybody in that arena go, "Ow!" It felt like one of those like ruthless delivery lines in an awesome rap battle or something, because there was no recovering from that. But I felt that Nikki Bella was a really great dancing partner there for Becky Lynch. She really set her up for Becky Lynch to knock it out of the park, made Becky Lynch look great. And I thought that Nikki Bella had some nice back and forth in there. I hope that Nikki Bella is able to get hers back later in the month. By the way, how refreshing is it to get conversational promos again, back and forth, not just this person talks and then the next week that other person talks. I like that we had a back and forth conversation because it led to this. It led to an amazing moment that again made me care about a feud that I didn't think I would ever give a shit about. I think the El Grande Americano variants will form a faction. They will help Prime Grande win the AAA title and rule that promotion together. Listen, I don't hate this idea. The El Grande Americano gimmick is over in Mexico, brother. Like Ludwig allegedly is getting such a pop, so much love from the Mexican crowd that I think that the AAA fans would probably eat this up as well. On top of that, it could set up a bunch of things in AAA. AAA loves multi-man tag team matches. Like they'll do 5v5, 6v6, 50v50 if they could. So if you're telling AAA that, hey, here's 3 guys that, you know, can be the top heels of your company and we can build Hijo del Vikingo or other baby faces to topple this faction, I think it's a great idea. While also featuring them on WWE TV, I think it's the best of both worlds. This is what I like about the AAA partnership, man. It allows for an expansion of characters. It allows for people that aren't getting TV time to get more TV time. I think so far this partnership has been a great idea for everyone. That was the most brilliant way to write Roman off. This gives Bronson some momentum, being the guy that made Roman disappear and could probably face Roman on a B-tier PLE like Crown Jewel, especially with it being in Australia. Yeah, I get where you're coming from. This was, I guess, a good way to write off Roman Reigns, but if Roman does come back and it's a match against Bronson, Bronson's losing. Like, he just is. You can take all the man's shoes all you want, but in a one-on-one singles environment, you're just setting up Bronson Reed to lose. And me personally, I would like to see some feuds where Bronson Reed could actually win. And yeah, although it'd be a huge program with Roman Reigns, it's just a program that he's going to lose. Like the program with Seth Rollins that he ultimately lost. But hey, whatever. It is what it is. It's still getting to rub shoulders with giants, which is ultimately good for your career. I'm a fan of Dragon Lee and his wrestling, but man, they keep saying that he is the future of Lucha Libre. And honestly, with how WWE has treated him, I don't see him as that anymore. And with his contract coming up, it gets me scared for him and his future in WWE. I'm less scared of his future in WWE, again, because of the AAA factor. I feel like you could easily unleash Dragon Lee in AAA, develop more over there, and bring him back to the main roster when you want. I agree, you know, I don't really see him as the future of Lucha Libre anymore. His matches are fantastic, but the treatment on the main roster hasn't really done him any favors. But yeah, I like the idea of him working in AAA. Maybe he wins the AAA Mega Championship later this month because he is in that main event. So there is places to use Dragon Lee, but I would agree with you right now that his use in the main roster is less than ideal right now. I'm so excited for the Becky and Nikki feud. I now want Becky to hold on to the Intercontinental Championship to erase the less known wrestlers. I wouldn't mind her holding it for 2 more feuds. I think it's a good way to get the wrestlers who need to get over and work experience. Yeah, you know, this is what this division has always been designed for, to help find new gems and elevate them to maybe becoming superstars. And the only way to do that is to give those unfound, untapped resources an opportunity to showcase themselves, like a Maxxine Dupri. Me personally, right now, I'm loving this Becky Lynch run so much, and she is doing so much for that Intercontinental Championship and elevating its prestige that yes, I want her to have all of these feuds with people that have never really gotten opportunities. Feuds with legends like Nikki Bella, sure, I'll take that as well. I'm at the point where I kind of just want her to hold all the way through to WrestleMania and lose at a big show like that one. After this main event segment, I feel like we are heading to a fatal 4-way at Clash in Paris between Punk, Roman, Knight, and Rollins, or if Roman isn't working that show, a triple threat is also on the table. I hope that that's what they decide to go with. Something that WWE unfortunately has done in the past is delay championship matches with tag team matches. So I could absolutely see CM Punk and Roman Reigns and LA Knight teaming up against the Vision, or CM Punk and LA Knight having to team up against Braun and Braun first. But I would prefer for them to just pull the trigger on championship matches as early as Clash in Pairs. I don't think that we're going to get a fatal four-way, because I do think that they wrote Roman off so that he can go film Street Fighter. But I think a triple threat is right now what I'm predicting to be the main event of this show, unless John Cena's on the card. Now that Seth and Cody Rhodes are both champions, they will likely fight at Crown Jewel for the Crown Jewel title. What do you make of that match and the story going into it, and who do you think wins? Have we gotten proper confirmation that that's going to be the format of Crown Jewel? We have to remember that Crown Jewel didn't have this Crown Jewel championship until last year. Last year was the first time that they ever did that. Maybe that ends up just being a one-off and we just go back to the regular format of Crown Jewel, which was just a PLE. With how much they were hyping up this, how like beautiful and expensive this Crown Jewel championship was, I thought that that was going to be a Saudi exclusive thing. And when I heard that it was going to Australia, I didn't immediately think that the Crown Jewel championship was going with it. But let's pretend that it does. I think that that would be such a cruddy way to do Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins, because that match deserves more than just an exhibition match. Because at the end of the day, that is what Crown Jewel ultimately is. I would prefer a proper program, proper motivation, proper stakes, a bigger show to do Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes as opposed to that. In my perfect world, this is just a regular PLE and they don't do champion versus champion, because that was such a weird lull last year where like championship programs were getting advanced for like months at a time, it felt, because we didn't get like a proper championship program between like Crown Jewel and Survivor Series. We got like, for example, Cody Rhodes didn't defend his championship at all for the majority of the fall, because he didn't defend his championship at Crown Jewel, didn't defend at Survivor Series. It wasn't until the first Saturday night's main event of the New Deal that we got Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens. So I'd rather they just do away with this. Where was Brock? They were talking about it all Raw every time SummerSlam was brought up and he was mentioned, so why didn't he come out? Well, I'm sure they were talking about it because it was one of the biggest moments of SummerSlam, but I'm assuming that he's just there for a John Cena program for now, and John Cena is confirmed for Friday, so it's possible that he might show up there. I wouldn't be surprised if Brock Lesnar is a Friday night exclusive like throughout the duration of this John Cena feud. I'm so ready for this. Stephanie versus Naomi can be a clear match of the year contender for Clash in Paris, and I can't wait to see Stephanie's performance in front of this Paris crowd. Again, I love the reset button here after SummerSlam. I love that the IC title has been reset and new feuds are happening. I love that the World Championship has been reset as well, and now we have a new feud here for Naomi and a new sparring partner on the mic and a new and unique type of opponent from an in-ring perspective. This is like entirely new, and I'm here to enter this uncharted territory with y'all. And honestly, we're seeing some great work from Naomi already here with the whole Stephanie Velcro thing that went viral, which was great. Stephanie Vaquer honestly firing back pretty well. But to me, this is going to be about the crowd. It is going to be about the match, and I'm really, really pumped for this. Put Naomi's segment on when commercials are happening, but we get 5 new El Grande Americano debuts. You'd think that they'd put the important stuff on TV. Wait now. Let's not allude to the El Grande Americano verse extending not being important enough to appear on TV. But I'm with you about Naomi. I'm on Netflix, so I'm able to watch everything that happens during commercial break. I know Americans can. You should get a VPN. Code Santi YT over on Surfshark if you want 4 months extra. Now, this video isn't even sponsored. I genuinely believe that wrestling fans in the States should get a VPN and watch everything on Netflix, because you're just getting a worse experience. But yeah, having Naomi's first promo after pinning the 2 biggest women's stars right now in the WWE, Io Sky and Rhea Ripley, in consecutive PLEs is kind of crazy. I was kind of hoping to get like an over-the-top celebration for Naomi on this episode, but instead her main contribution to the show was a backstage segment and then a commercial promo, which just sucks. Let's give a huge applause to both Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair on their first successful title defense. Let's hope that they get new challengers ahead, like the Kabuki Warriors and the rumored tag team of Rhea and Io. I absolutely want to see both of those scenarios, them against the Kabuki Warriors, and absolutely like the Rhea and Io match, dude. Like that's like a huge match, like WrestleMania worthy type of match. I hope they don't do it at WrestleMania, because I'd rather see all of these women doing different things. But like that's the type of star caliber that we're talking about here. I will say I didn't love the promo beforehand. I did feel like in the initial setup process of Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, like maybe becoming a tag team, it felt really like organic and really natural. I felt like this whole like, hey, are you gonna say friend? Julia. This whole back and forth that they had on Raw felt a little forced, and it felt almost like high school level drama class acting that I didn't particularly love, but it was still endearing. I'm so glad that the Dom and AJ feud is continuing, and maybe we get Dom as a double champ until AJ wins the IC title at Clash in Paris. Book at Triple H. Yeah, look, all right, Triple H must know that you cannot have Clash in Paris without AJ Styles. He must understand that this is the easiest layup, the easiest open net opportunity to just have an easy, great viral moment. Just book AJ Styles for Clash in Paris. Yo, put him across from Dominic Mysterio, and you're gonna have yourself an electric atmosphere that I don't even think any main eventer could top. Like, seriously, I think the French crowd would go bananas for this match. I'm really confused with this backstage segment. Now that we know Nikki and Becky is gonna happen, what is Lara and Bayley gonna do? Is Bayley gonna be the face in this situation and Lara gonna become a justified heel? I hope that this gets more segments because I'm lost as of right now. So I kind of took this as one of two ways. Yes, the start of Lara versus Bayley and probably one of them turning heel, probably Lyra Valkyria as a justified heel, which by the way, Triple H is really good at booking, so that wouldn't be the worst thing. The other way that I kind of took this, it was like a breakup and maybe Lyra Valkyria saying, I can't be here, I can't do this. Maybe her going to Friday Night SmackDown where I think she's kind of more needed. Like Lyra versus Julia, that would go crazy. I'm happy Penta got the win, but I hope that he isn't wasted with the New Day since he was just feuding with Seth's faction and was also left off of SummerSlam. Yeah, this is definitely a big downgrade. Feuding with the New Day hasn't really amounted to really anything for anybody over the last 6 months. Again, one of the wasted heel turns of the century at this point. I think we can all agree on that. But yeah, Penta going from feuding with Seth Rollins to this, it's a big drop off, but it could be the catalyst that reunites Penta and Rey Fenix somewhere down the line. Maybe they bring over Rey Fenix and Andrade over to Monday Night Raw and they form a faction with Penta to go up against Big G and the New Day. This was absolutely genius. Having two former friends, now enemies, fighting each other in front of Charlotte and Alexa. It hints at what the future could be for them now, with most likely down the line, these two will split and turn on each other. Haven't seen people point this out. Honestly, I think this is really poetic. I think that this is brilliant. I didn't really interpret it this way, but this is why I love Hot Takes, because I get to see and hear how people interpret certain segments, because now that you pointed out, this is such a cool way to maybe show the future of Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, kind of like the ghost of Christmas future. All right, folks, thank you so much for watching this episode of Hot Takes. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Goodbye. Get out of here.